Yep. Good evening, everyone. So, online people, a drive link is shared. You join this, and the Google Classroom also I will share. Okay. Already joined now. So, if you know the Google Classroom, this drive link or notes, I will share that. So, you join this classroom. We will upload notes into that. Right. Okay. So, last session we discussed about how MongoDB works. So we discussed about features. So what is MongoDB and features, concerns, and how to set up MongoDB server and MongoDB client tool, what that is Compass, na? And we learned MongoDB terminology. Basic terms used in MongoDB, I explained them. So you understood all these points. Everyone installed working. How you tested it is working. Default databases should come. Huh? So when you set up and connect, it will connect successfully and it will show default database. And if any connection issue is coming, I told you how to enable, how to start server, right? So now today we are going to learn about how do we interact with the data, how we can manage and interact with the data. So what we are going to learn first is, after connecting to MongoDB, this is the MongoDB Compass. We are connecting with MongoDB. So when you connected with MongoDB, here we have one important thing. So we need to understand MongoDB default databases. MongoDB default databases. So when you install, set up and connect to MongoDB, by default in MongoDB, you will find three databases automatically available: admin, local, config. Now, what is purpose of these three databases? Let's see. First important, you will find admin database. Actually, admin database main purpose is it contains It contains admin users. It contains admin users. You can create admin users. You can create admin users with roles. So you can authenticate admin, authenticate and authorize. You can authenticate and authorize. That means actually, who are these admin users? Who are these admin users? They can manage all your databases. That means who can delete your database, who can modify your database. You can put restriction. Who can access and use your database, who can delete, who can edit. Such users you can create. I can put authentication. That means this is a database where we can create users and give them authentication in such a way that they can manage our databases inside server. That means so admin users can have access to all databases on your server. They can have access to all databases on your server. So, however, you can restrict users, user roles and responsibilities. We can restrict user role and responsibility. So, in MongoDB server, you can create so many databases. Who can access them? Are there any limitations and restrictions that you can define by maintaining some users, admin people's information inside this database? So you can see actually admin is the database, and you can see in the admin database currently it is empty, nothing is there. What we can do, we can add data, we can create users, we can mention some roles for those users. But this is not our job because it comes under administration. Our job is not data administration. Our job is data manipulation. So we will not do that. But later at the end, I will just give you one overview about it. So every MongoDB server have one default database called admin. Here we can have admin users. So what is their responsibility is they can manage all your databases. Who, who can access which database he can access, all restrictions we can create here. We can configure here. Currently it is empty. Later we can add users. We can add users. That later I will show how we can do. Okay. Next important in the default databases, another important database is local. We have a database called local. Now Yesterday, I told you one feature about MongoDB, data replication. What does it means? So you can replicate the data, duplicate whenever it is corrupted. Not only that, when load is increased, we can create a duplicate so that people can access from that duplicate. Now the question is where that duplicate can be. The duplicate can be across servers also. That means in one server, currently our server is running at 270.17. Some another server is there. In that server, also this data should be duplicated because we are working in a cloud environment. Our data is duplicated not only on this server, it is duplicated to another server. That means generally our data can be replicated across servers. But if you want any data to be only on this server, not to duplicate to another server, we have to keep that inside local. Understood? That means local will configure the databases which are not replicated outside the server. They can be used only inside the server. That means we can write the settings here and we can mention the names of databases. Those databases cannot be replicated across servers. They can be replicated inside the server. They cannot be replicated across the server. That is the meaning of the word local. What is the meaning of the word local means? I will make it available only here. You cannot replicate to some other servers. So that is the point. So what is local actually? So databases on your server can be replicated to databases on your server can be replicated to other servers, can be replicated to other servers so that they are accessible across servers. So local is a database where you can configure the collection of databases, where you can configure the collection of settings actually. Collection of settings which allow to access only on local server. So database configured as local cannot replicate to other server. That is the point. So we have admin and local. All the admin roles are configured there. Databases which we don't want to replicate across servers are configured inside local. Another important, the default database is config. So actually it is used to configure the shared database. It is used to configure the shared database. So what is the meaning of shared is actually shared is nothing but one database is divided into multiple portions. One database is divided into multiple portions and it is kept in multiple servers. Generally, one database means it is present on one server, but sometimes database is huge. Then they cannot maintain all in one place. Then what they do, they divide portions. For example, Indian users data separate, US users data separate, UK users data separate. Like that they can separate. But actually database is one. Indian users data they put on Asian server, right? Some European users data they will put on European server. Database is same. Database is some Netflix, but Indian users data in separate location, US users data separate location, UK users data separate location. This is called shared. So shared database is nothing but a bulk database, a huge database, millions of TB of database cannot be kept in one place. Then what they do, they divide it into portions. And one portion on one server, another portion on another server, but all are only one. So such shared databases are configured inside this config. They are configured inside config. Which database need to be divided and on which server, which portion should work. All such configurations are defined inside this config. So what is shared database means? So shared database refers to bulk database. It refers to bulk database. So you can split the database into multiple portions called shared. One portion is called one shared. So shared database, a bulk database. So you can split the database into multiple portions. And very important is, so database can split into multiple servers also, not on only one server, can split into multiple servers. It can split into multiple servers. So sharded is a mechanism of splitting a bulk database into many servers. That is config. You can see here, I click on local. you can see local is having a collection, some startup log. When I open, you can see it will show some information. See, what is the information it is having is locally on my particular device. When, how many times, when, where I opened, it will show. All that information will be kept here. Not only that, I can put the configuration in such a way that I can even lock, saying that this cannot be used across servers. It can be used only in this machine. You can see the host name is there now. Who can access, where he can access, restrictions we can put, right? That is actually local. You have another one. What is it? Config. Currently it is empty. Nothing is there. Config is empty. Admin is empty. Generally, we have to design. If any bulk database you are creating and you want to split and use in multiple servers, its configuration must be written here. If any database related restrictions you want to mention, who can access, how many he can access, then you can put inside admin. So these are the default databases you will see in MongoDB. Others are my own databases. In this MongoDB server, I have my own database. By default, when you create a terminal and new connection, automatically you will get these three databases. So in some interviews, they may ask, what is the purpose of these three database? Because they are by default available. And when you are using, you must know what they are, why they are used, what they are. So what is the purpose of these three? I hope everyone understood, right? So these are default databases. Okay. Now we will see. So MongoDB custom database. Custom database is nothing but we can create our own database. So we can create our own database. We can keep information in that database. These are our own. Now the first, here so many rules are there. The first point, how many databases we can have on a server. There is no limit. That depends on the availability of memory on server. There is no limit for databases. You can have any number of your own database. There is no problem for that. But when you create database, we have some rules. We have to follow the rules. What are the rules? Actually, first point, database name. Database name must start with an alphabet or underscore. So avoid using special characters, using other special characters and blank spaces while giving a name for database. Avoid using special characters and blank space because several special characters are not allowed in database name. They are not allowed, and name can be max 64 characters only. Can be max 64 characters in length. So database name should not be more than 64 characters. Make sure that database name length is less than 64 characters. Another, it cannot be any default database name. That means you should not give database name as local or admin or config, because they are already default names now. So they are already default names. So you cannot give any default name to database. So these are basic rules. Another point is every database must have a collection. Otherwise, MongoDB will not keep it. That means every database must have a collection, must have a collection. Every database must have a collection. At least one collection is compulsory. Otherwise, MongoDB will not store the database. Automatically, it will not show in the list. It will delete it automatically once you close the compass, means your client tool. So make sure that database have a collection. Collection means it should have one table inside. So to create database, you need to follow these rules. Actually, so there is no limit for number of databases on server. It varies according to memory availability. So, so you can create a new database by using use command. Use and database name. In ORM, if database name exists, then it starts using the database. Else, it creates the database. That is the reason use command is used for two purposes. What is it? You can create database or you can start using database. If database is already present, then what use command will do? It will not show any message saying that database exists. Directly it will start using. That is the reason later we can write some programming logics also in such a way that when we run a command, it will verify whether database is there or not. After verifying, it will prompt us database is existing. We want to use it, or it will prompt us, do you want to create database? But directly it is not available. We have to manually set up the such type of logic. That you will see later how we write such logic. But actually, because MongoDB supports ORM, what use command will do? It will work in two ways. If already database is there, it will start using. If database is not there, it will create. But after creating, it will not keep it permanently. After database is created, it is temporary until or unless you have some collection inside. If there is a collection inside, now data is ready. Database is visible. You see now. So what you have to do, go to MongoDB shell. Shell opens a command prompt. In the command prompt, you can see by default, it is having test. Here you have to run the command use. I am using here config. When I'm using config, you can see automatically it starts using config. Because config is already existing database, it says switch it to config. Now, if you want, you can see what is present inside it. I will tell you all the commands. So it is no point like how to come out of this database. What is the specialty here is just you start using another database, it will quit this current database. So that means just you start using another database from anywhere you want. Just what you do. Suppose I will create here use sample DB. You can give any name. I am giving database name as sample DB and enter. You can see it says switch it to sample DB. But in the list, it is not there. You can refresh the list and see. Suppose I will go here and refresh. I refresh here. You can see it's not showing because the database you created is temporary. Suppose if you want to see list of databases, then you have a command show DBS. You can view the list of databases by using the command show DBS. You can get active database name by using DB. That is DB. So if you want to see the list of databases which are available, then what you do, go here and run the command. Here you run the command. So show DBS and enter. You see it will show databases, but sample DB not there. It is not showing the database you created. And but in the prompt you can see now, suppose if I run DB, then it is going to show me that currently I am using which one? Sample DB. But in the list it is not there. That means this database is temporary. Till I close. If I close, disconnect, you see here I will disconnect. I disconnect and I will connect again. Now you see there is no sample database. And you see here again test show DBS. The database is not there. So why? Because a database will be permanently kept in your server only when it is having a collection. That means if it is having a collection, then it will put the database. Otherwise, it will remove, right? So to create database and to start using database, you have to use these commands. Now, how to make it permanent, we will see, right? These are the basic points about database. So how to name the database? What are the rules of naming? And how do we create database? How to check whether database is present or not? How to verify which database currently active? We have to use these commands. Now, once database is ready, now what we have to do? In the database, we need to store the data. That means now we need MongoDB collection. You need to understand collection. First basic point I will tell you, and there are so many types of collections. Different types of collections are there in database. For which purpose, which collection is used, we will see. We will understand about that. Actually, you see, first point, what is collection? It is a location in database where the data is kept. The data is kept inside collection. So, collection is a location in database where the data is kept. So it is a location in database where data is kept. Actually, it represents a JSON array with collection of objects. It represents a JSON array with collection of objects. So generally it is like an array. That means usually it represents an array, and you know, array of object with a key and a value like this. Just a key and a value. Right. Actually, in MongoDB, collections in MongoDB are classified into various types. The collections in MongoDB are classified into various types. We have different types of collections. So we have different types of collections. What is it is, number one, we have a regular collection. We have a regular collection. What is the concept of regular collection is, it stores data normally. It doesn't have any size limit. It stores the data normally. It doesn't have any size limit. It supports complete CRUD operations, means create, read, update, delete, everything we can manage. So what is the point? Documents can be deleted, deleted, modified, and reordered. All these things we can do in a regular collection. That is a regular collection in MongoDB. So collections in MongoDB, so many types are there. One regularly used one is this. You can put any data. There is no limit for data. You can do all operations on the data. There is no problem. You can reorder, you can do everything. But there is a capped collection. So we have a capped collection in MongoDB. So capped is a fixed collection size. Capped is a fixed collection. It is a fixed collection. What does it means is it have predefined size. It has predefined size. So you can store only within the limits. You can store within the limits. And very important is older documents are overwritten by new documents. Older documents are overwritten. Insert order is maintained. These are all the points. Very fast in inserting. That is a capped collection. So regular collection and we have a capped collection. What is capped collection means? You have a fixed size. You will mention that this table should handle only 500 bytes or 2 KB. It can handle only 2 KB. What will happen if I try to store more than 2 KB? If I try to store more than 2 KB, what will happen is old document will be replaced and new document will be kept in that place. That means you can put a limit saying that the collection can have 10 records. So 10 records completed. After 10 records completed, what is the concept now? If you store the 11th record, what will happen? First one will be replaced. The first one will be removed and the 11th one will be stored. That means always there will be how many records? Only 10. Only 10 records will be there. That is the capped collection. That means in which order you inserted, in the same order it will be available. It will not allow to reorder. Generally, normal documents will allow to reorder, but it will not allow to reorder. But what is specialty is limit, and we can access fast. We can insert fast. That is called as capped collection, right? So we have regular collection and capped collection. Next important is timestamp. Timestamp or time series. Time series collection. We have timestamp or time series collection. Actually, it is for time based data. It is for time based data. Generally, we call it as time optimized data is kept in time series collection. It is kept in time series collection. So that means time based any data you are storing, then it is good. So it is faster in querying based on time. It is good for logs. It is good for logs. So it is used mostly for monitoring systems. Monitoring systems means what? Means who logged in, when logged in, at what time he logged out. So at what time, which activity he performed. If anything is related to time base, then this is best. You saw already there is a database which is showing when I logged in, when I logged out, when I started server, all that. Those type of collections are called as what? Timestamp collections. Timestamp collections. Another important is system collection. System collection. System collection. So it is used for internal storage. Actually, internal storage refers to metadata. Metadata is nothing but metadata is about your application. Actually, metadata is information about your application. So that is system collection. Mostly it is used for internal uses. So you know there is a file called package.json. What it contains? Metadata means about your application name, version, dependencies, commands. Am I right? Actually, that is system collection. That means that comes under system collection. It comes under system collection. Okay. So that means application related information is maintained in that. It is not for general use. It is used for maintaining application related data, right? Next, another one is views we generally call as read-only collection. It is read-only collection. So actually it is created using aggregation pipeline. It is created using aggregation pipeline. So it contains the result of a query and not data. The result of a query and not data. You cannot modify the data. So you can use for querying. You can use for querying. That is actually read only. Right. So in MongoDB, you can store data. Data is in database. In database, where it is present inside collection. And the collection can be several types. We have a regular collection where you can store normal data, anything you can store, you can insert, you can update. There is no order. You can reorder the data. You can perform all the operations on it. So another important is capped. Regular data don't have limit. Now in regular collection, if memory is full, means your server don't have more space, then what will happen? If you try to store a new record and there is no space, then what it will do? It will simply show a message, memory full. I can't store anything. It will not store the new record because there is no memory. That is regular collection. Capped collection is not like that. For capped collection, we will say that in memory, you should use only 1 MB. Then it will use only 1 MB. In 1 MB, you can also tell how many records it should handle, how many documents it should handle, 10 or 15. Once you mention 10 or 15, after 10, if you try to add 11, it will take. But what it will do? Remove the first one, old. Whatever old is there, it will remove. It will not allow to reorder. In the order you are inserting, it will present in the same. The newest one will come at the top if their memory is full. Memory is full. This type of collection is called as what? Capped. We call it as capped collection. So it is good for limited data. Inserting is very fast when compared to normal. Next one, timestamp series collection. If any data you are managing related to date time, then better you create a timestamp. It is good for querying based on date and time. Because in normal data, querying based on date and time we can do, but it is little complex. Based on time, you can easily query if it is a timestamp series. Mostly monitoring systems like logs, who logged in, at what time logged in, all such information you can maintain in this timestamp collection. System collection is for metadata. So that is already I told you. You created an application. Every application have a metadata, information about that application. Such data you can maintain here. Views means here we can't add data. We write a query, it will get the query. The result of query will be stored inside view. The result of query will be stored inside the view. That means what we done, for example, means roughly I will tell you. Suppose I am using here result is means I am showing your way of understanding of JavaScript. We have a collection, we have a filter. What we will do, filter item dot some name is matching with a, am I right? Now what this query is going to do, it will filter the data from that collection and it will get the result and store inside the result. In the result, if I delete any record, will it affect in my collection? Yeah? Will it, suppose in this result, what I done in the result, I used suppose pop or I used splice from one, delete one, then I deleted one record. Is that record deleted from my collection? No. Why? Because the result of collection is stored in the result. That contains only the result, not the actual data. Understood? That means if you delete in the original collection, it will delete here also. Understood? Result will be affected based on the modification in the main data. That means it will not affect when you delete anything from here. These are called as what? Views. These are called as what? Read-only collection or views, right? This is general concept. So in MongoDB, we have different types of collections. And to create a collection, you need to use the mechanisms. That means, for example, see, I will show you one by one. First thing, you see there is database called sample DB. So we will create, so CLS, yeah. So use sample DB. We are creating a database. Now after that, we have to create a collection. How to create a collection? Because you are in command line. If you are in graphical mode, while creating database itself, it will ask collection. For example, I will show you. Let's close it. Okay. I am creating database. And what is the database name? Database name is what? Some sample DB. You see it is asking collection and you can see it is asking time series. You want like a time series, additional information. You can see it is asking clustered collection. So that means what is clustered collection also I will tell you later, because administrator things I ignored. Major important we will learn. So what is the clustered collection is nothing but, so cluster is nothing but just like I told you shared data. Na? One cluster can be divided into multiple portions. For that, it is good actually. Later we'll see that. Now, the point is while creating database, it is asking all this. It is asking all this. If I am not doing from here, if I am doing from shell, then how do we create? Use sample DB. Now we have to add a collection. And while adding collection, you have to tell what type it is. What type it is. How? See, what we have to do, I will show a simple point. So first we will see normal collection. So normal collection, so or you call it as a regular collection. Collection. So how do we handle that? So we have to create db dot create collection and the collection name. So this is going to create a normal collection. That means it is going to design one normal collection. So by default, every collection is used as a normal collection. And to create a normal collection, we have to just use the command create collection. For example, see now, db dot, what is it? Create collection and collection name. Collection name, suppose I given as, suppose sample db, I will use as customers and enter. Customers related collection created. If you want to see the collection, what you can do is show collections. So show collection. So we have to just use show collections. It will get us the collections. Show collections is used for accessing the collection and view. You can see show collection, it will show collection customers. Now should you refresh the database, you see now sample DB is there. Previously it was not there because at least one collection is present, then it will take it, right? Okay. Now comes important is how to design a capped collection. How you design a capped collection. To design capped collection, so we need to use the options like this. So first what you have to do is, first I will show here. So we have db dot create collection, collection name. Suppose I will give a collection name vendors. That is the collection name. After that, comma, we have to put options. That means we need to put the settings. Then through settings, you can mention what type of collection you want. If you don't give the settings, by default, it will take as what? Normal or regular collection. So db dot what? Create collection and collection name. And we have to give here settings. So actually we call options. Now what are the options you need? For capped collection, first important option is capped. Capped is an option. This capped is actually, it is a boolean. Means it will take true or false, right? So another one is it will have size. It is a number. Size is a number. Another one is max. Max is also a number. Now what is size? What is max is? So bytes allocated for collection. Bytes allocated for collection. Number of records, number of, so you can say max number of documents it can have. How many documents it can have? So to create a capped collection, you need to set up these options. That means, do you want capped or not? How much space you want to allocate in memory? How many number of documents you want? Actually, size must be in bytes only. That means you know that. So 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. So 1024 bytes is equal to 1 kilobyte. 1024 kilobytes is equal to actually 1 MB. All this not 1 KB is enough. 1 megabyte. 1024 MB is equal to 1 GB. 1 gigabyte. And 1024 GB is equal to 1 terabyte. That is TB. Yeah? So you need to mention in this way. So that is, so size must be mentioned in bytes only. That means even you want to calculate 2 MB. So then what you have to do? So 2 MB means how much? 1024 into 1024. That is actually 1 MB. Understood? Huh? Into 2. Into 2. This will be how much? 2 MB. 1024 kilobytes into 1024 kilobytes is equal to how much? 1 MB. 1 MB into 2. That means how much? 2 MB. 1 MB into 2 na? So that means 2 MB into 4 like that. That means actually, suppose in a calculator, suppose you are accessing here 1024 into 1024 is equal to, that is 1 MB size, into 2. This will be 2 MB size. So you have to copy the 2 MB. This is the 2 MB size. So I can copy, yeah. And I have to put that here. That means 2 MB size means this without commas. This is 2 MB size. Like that you have to calculate, because size cannot be mentioned as MB, GB. It should be mentioned only as bytes. So you have to write in bytes only. 2 MB means you have to write like this. So that is the size. So how you create a capped collection is, we need to write like this. In the options, we have to use capped is what? True. What else? Size. Size is this number. Make sure that I deleted the commas. Okay. And next what? Max. Max is suppose 5. That means it will accept only 5 records. And enter, it creates the collection. That means you can create a collection in this way. That is the capped collection, how you define. That means here roughly an example, I will just copy here. That is how we define. Cap true, size how much, max how many, we have to define. So first we will work with these two, how to put data in them and all, because other collections are not required for us. Timestamp collections, system collections, we don't use them regularly. For our general full stack development, everywhere usage is these two. One is capped collection, another one is regular. Others not required, but I will just show you a overview about that. That we'll see next session. Monday will continue. Okay, in Monday session, we are going to learn how to use these collections, how to store data, how to access, how they behave. We will see all detail. Okay, right. Yes, Bun, what is your doubt?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sir, actually, yeah, the thing is actually I attend the class for that Prasad sir class. That's not enough to understand that actually. That's I want to switch your class because I paid the full stack for React J and also that UI and also the backend classes. So some reason actually I attend the class for the Prasad sir. So can I join your class because actually they are I was talking to the team. They are actually giving, not able to give the access. That's why I'm
I will
requesting.
check
Yeah.
once. I will check once with those people and I will let you know. Okay. Actually, you
Okay, sir.
have to speak to those admin people only. I will check with them
Yeah.
once. Okay. Hmm.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. If you are giving access, that's grateful for me actually because I didn't set up anything. I couldn't be able to watch the video also. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Arshi.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Arshi here. Sir,
Yes.
actually, I paid fees for the full stack React course in the month
Hmm.
of August. From August, I'm attending your classes.
Hmm.
Now, for the backend, I got message from the admin that I have to fill the Google form. I tried multiple ways from 2 days. It is not working. As it is the last day today, I requested the admin.
No problem. I will check. They will contact with you and
No,
talk to you.
I'm already talking to Miss Krishnaveni, I think. I already
Ah,
sent her the receipt, which I paid so many months back, and I also sent my Aadhaar card copy. For
okay.
some reason, I'm not able to fill the form. Maybe I'm not good at it, or yeah, I don't know what the
No,
problem
they
with
will
my
they will
laptop.
check once. The problem, problem is, they will talk to you. Okay.
I don't want to miss your classes from Monday, so
And
that is the only
no problem.
concern.
They will share you the link until you get solved with the problem. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
Yes, Deepak.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, how many duration of this backend course?
Huh? Which batch you are?
UI full stack.
At what time you attended?
7:30 p.m.
11:30.
7:30 p.m.
7:30.
Yeah.
7:30. Which one? Which batch?
UI is sir.
7:30 UI batch. At which month you completed?
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि बैकएंड कंप्लीट होने में कितना समय लगेगा अभी?
You
हेलो.
completed UI and React.
Yeah, sir.
Huh? You completed your React JS also? Huh?
Yeah, sir. Right.
You
I
finished.
complete.
Only backend is pending for you.
Yes, sir.
Huh. Backend will go on for 2 months, na?
What two?
2 months.
Okay. Thank you, sir.